Have you ever wondered if building your own plane is actually worth it? When I filmed this P-51 Mustang from the back seat of a T-6, one airplane kept showing up in the frame. It was not a warbird, not a trainer, but a home-built Vans RV-14. This airplane wasn't bought, it wasn't restored. It was built in a garage by a commercial airline captain named Rob, and years later it flies formations with Mustangs. Let's hear this RV-14 story.
Hi, I'm Rob. I am a commercial pilot, and this is my RV-14 behind me. I've been flying essentially my whole life. I was introduced to flying when I was 15. I was able to take a tour of a Air National Guard squadron, and I was able to get into the simulator of an F-4 Phantom. Fell in love right away. Started taking lessons at the local airport. Ended up going to college and getting on with the airlines, living the life of a commercial pilot.
How did you know you could build a plane?
It's a big project. It's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. But I've always been a person who's done a lot of DIY projects, kind of like remodeling a kitchen. You might not necessarily know how to remodel a kitchen, but you can kind of figure out a way, one step at a time, and you'll get there.
Why did you choose a Vans aircraft kit?
I chose them for a good reason. They build a really good quality aircraft, and also, frankly, they just had the product that I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a backcountry STOL plane. I wasn't looking for open cockpit biplane. This is kind of what I wanted.
So why the RV-14?
I picked the RV-14. It was, at the time, it was kind of the latest model that came out for them. As soon as it came out, I kind of knew, okay, that's the plane for me. One of the big advantages of this particular model that I liked about it was the cabin is a good size, built for normal size human beings. And I'm 6'4" and I have a wide torso, so I struggle to get into and be comfortable in most general aviation aircraft. So this one fit the bill for me. When it first came out, I was able to go to Oshkosh, and I went there with my son. And it was really nice because I was able to not only sit in the aircraft with my son, but I was able to get a test flight. So I placed an order for it there.
Okay, you bought the kit. Now what?
Yeah, so when you put your deposit down, it's a little anticlimactic because it's just a simple form you fill out and you give them a decent amount of money and that's it. There's no hat, there's no balloons or anything. You just wait for, about a month later, and then a big crate comes. And that's exciting because then you got to open it all up and you got to inventory all the parts and go through the manual and kind of figure out, okay, what's what, and really dig into where you're going to go first.
How do you get help when you're stuck on something?
Not only do you have technical support, a nice instruction manual, but you also have thousands of other builders all over the country where you can reach out and say, hey, what am I doing here?
How did you find builders?
I found a lot of them through a website, Vans Air Force. And then I was actually searching online and I found some blogs of other people who had created their own websites documenting their build. But then I ended up finding, one of the persons who had a blog actually lives about 30 minutes away. So I reached out to him and we've since become friends and fly together quite often now.
So what are some of the options and how did you decide what to choose?
Well, the biggest options right off the bat was the Nosewheel or Tailwheel. You make that decision with the tail kit. That's the first kit you get, is the empennage. And right away I was like, nope, I'm doing a Tailwheel. And I guess my big reason was A, they look so much better. B, they're so much cooler. C, I wanted the challenge. I kind of wanted to prove it to myself because I've just never done it. And it's not that I've avoided it, I just never really had the opportunity to fly a Tailwheel. I am 100% glad I did every day. I've not had a single day I have thought, oh man, I should have built a Nosewheel. Not one day ever. So I decided to install the standard IO390 engine. That's the engine, the Lycoming engine that this aircraft was designed for. I wanted to build this plane because I wanted to fly this plane. Just wanted it to work. So I did get the Thunderbolt option, which is kind of their Lycoming's tricked out version. It is a 4-cylinder horizontally opposed 210 horsepower engine with a constant speed propeller. And it's been a great combination. I cruise on this airplane at lean of peak, so I'm only burning about 9 gallons an hour. I'm doing 170 knots. So it scoots along pretty good. I did design the panel myself. It has a full Garmin setup. The main reason I went with Garmin was it kind of has become the most progressive avionics company out there as far as everything works together very well. I guess you could say it's kind of the Apple of the industry right now, where you might not necessarily be an Apple person, but you have to appreciate Apple stuff works really good with other Apple stuff. I wanted it to be IFR capable, so I did decide to put in a GTN 650, and I went with the dual G3X screens. The G3X is kind of like cell phones today, where the screens today are different than they were when I installed them. Just like your phone gets better through software update. I've been real happy with it. The only challenge has been when I go back and I fly other aircraft that have really old, out-of-date avionics, and I'm just kind of jonesing to get back in my plane with my nice new stuff.
Nice place to be.
Yeah. As far as the panel, I decided to go with Aerotronics. One of the big reasons I decided to go to Aerotronics, I was in Oshkosh, and there used to be a company called Synergy, and these guys are professional builders, and the Builder Assistant Program. And I talked to some of the young kids who did the work, and I said, you know, I assume you guys have put panels in at least a dozen of these planes. And they're like, oh yeah. And I was like, of all the companies that you've got panels from, who's the best one you've had to work with? And they told me Aerotronics. And they've been great. I mean, I've been flying this airplane for 5 years now, and I can still call Aerotronics. And I talked to a guy who actually built the panel. I get answers that day, and with a smile on their face. Highest recommendation for them. I did decide to go through Evoke for the paint design. And then what I did is I just accumulated like 100 pictures on my iPad of all just certain aspects of designs that I just thought look cool. And so I basically took about 10 photos that kind of summed up paint jobs that I liked, and I sent it to them. I said, this is kind of my thing. And they said, okay, and they kind of came up with some ideas, and I'm like, okay. I said, well, I don't really like those two, but I can work with these. Okay, what if we do this? And we ended up with this design. I've been really happy with it. So I brought it up to Bend, Oregon for Cascade Custom to do the paint job. And I've been really happy with them. I was really, they were great to work with, and I think they did a good job.
Have you found any drawbacks to the RV-14?
You know, on this airplane, people say this is the jack of all trades, and I really think this is. The only thing it doesn't do great is hold more than 2 people. And so I ended up, through the wife's persistence, have a share of a Bonanza just when we have to carry a few couples or dogs and what have you. But otherwise, I would take this 100% of the time, because this is more comfortable, just as fast, and burns 50% less fuel. And it can go upside down. Really started enjoying the aerobatics of it, dogfighting with friends, formation flying, tactical flying. Just been a lot of fun.
Let's watch as Rob tries to get behind the aggressor flying below him in this dogfight.
It started with just making friends in the build community. One of those builders had previously flown formation, and he introduced me to a big group of guys who do formation, and I actually went to a formation clinic, and it was really fun. It was super enjoyable. It's challenging, but it's really rewarding. Meeting so many other like-minded other pilots and becoming friends with them, and that has led me to some really fun things, and it's become a large part of my life now, of flying this plane to fun events, you know, going to other places, flying with warbirds. I've flown formation with Mustangs, T6s, Nanchang, CJs, just some really awesome airplanes, and it's really opened up some kind of different worlds that I really didn't know about. Flying events where flying tactical formation over the desert, and red air bad guys are jumping you in P-51 Mustangs, and you're literally dogfighting with them. Yeah, there's been a lot of fun stuff.
Is it true that some airline pilots are reticent to fly general aviation?
I mean, I do know people. I do have friends who maybe just strictly flew military and then went right to the airlines. never flew GA, and they just think it's the scariest thing on earth. I get it, it's different. The thing that blows them all away when I do talk about it or bring them flying is basically the freedom that general aviation affords, especially compared to the regimented airline flying. And and airline flying is great for its regimentation, and there's so many reasons why we have it that way. But as far as just one person taking an airplane to go do something fun, with their friends or their family, it's just hard to beat the freedom we have with general aviation.
As Rob taxis back to his hangar on this little strip in Northern California, we have seen how deciding to build a plane and fly his RV-14 for fun has changed Rob's life and took him into new, unexpected, and exciting aviation journeys. General aviation has changed my life as well, and that's a key reason why I invest the time to put these stories together and share that passion. I hope you enjoyed hearing Rob's story and admiring his gorgeous RV-14. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for future Silva adventures.